Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For today's drawing, I will be using a fountain pen that, the style of the fountain pen is one of my favorite fountain pens out there. The Japanese pocket style fountain pen, where basically the cap of the fountain pen is almost as big as the fountain pen itself. And once posted actually gets to be a pretty normal size. I love these fountain pens a lot, and as pocket fountain pens, I think they're one of the greatest designs out there for a pocket fountain pen. They're small, they can fit pretty much in any pocket or purse that you might have, and at the same time, once it's posted, it's pretty much a full-length fountain pen with a lot of hand positions and a very smooth and long section. The pen in itself, I believe it is now considered to be a classic or a vintage version of this Pilot Elite. It does come in two versions for this specific model. One that you see right here with the metal cap that has basically a chase pattern on it, and a plastic barrel. I guess you can call that a barrel. However, there's another version out there where the barrel it's made of metal as well, and it matches the design of the cap. Unfortunately, when I was looking for this fountain pen a couple of years back, I was only able to find this version. Personally, I would have loved to have the other version, the metal barrel as well. But who knows, maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to add that to my collection as well. The fountain pen in itself is very similar with all the other Japanese pocket fountain pens that have been made by Sailor, Platinum and Pilot. It just has different design elements. The cool part about this fountain pen, in my opinion, is the actual nib that it comes with. It is a 14K gold, actual gold nib that it's plated in palladium, I believe, or I assume, I don't know 100% sure. And based on the title that I've been giving to this video and the auction that I won back in that day, apparently this fountain pen was made in 1976. So basically, this fountain pen is older than I am, and it's still in actually very good shape. I don't know if this fountain pen was used before or if it came in new old stock. I don't remember what the auction details were for it, but what I can tell you for sure is that this fountain pen is in great shape. I see no blemishes or scratches on it, and if it has been used, whoever had it took very good care of it. So I'm extremely happy with the condition of the pen that I got. Like I mentioned, the jewel of the pen is the actual nib. It's not a flexible nib, but you can get a little bit of line variation from it, and it has a very nice soft feel to it. It is a little bit bouncy or elastic, however you want to call it, and it is quite a pleasure to write with. For the ink today, I decided to use the Take-Sumi ink that I previously used and that I actually really enjoy. I thought that it might be a perfect match with this fountain pen and with the new paper that I will be trying today, which is not necessarily new, but it's slightly different than the paper that I've been using so far. And since this pen it has a fine nib, I thought it would be quite perfect if I want some fine details out of it. A little bit of transparency in here and embarrassment for me. Again, these pens come with a very small Con 40 converter. Some hate it, some love it, some don't care about it. Personally, I have no issue with it, and I actually do like them. The only thing that I find annoying is that because of the pen designs, you can't really tell how much ink you have in the converter unless you remove the converter. Also, you don't know in what position your piston is unless you remove it, you look at it, and then you know which way to turn it in order to have a feel or not. And that's where my issue was with it today. For whatever reason, I thought I filled the fountain pen, but actually what I did is fill it up and then empty it. So basically, I wrote and I did half of a drawing with only the ink that was left inside the section, and I assume with the feed, and whatever was left inside the converter once the piston was all the way down. Surprisingly, this fountain pen is very, very frugal, and I like it for that. I got annoyed a little bit because he was starting to skip his light. I thought that maybe the paper was affecting it, but no, it turned out that I actually didn't fill it up. A little bit of an embarrassment there and a little bit of a funny tale, but with that aside, it does skip a little bit, especially on the upstrokes when you're trying to do very fast movements. For whatever reason, the ink doesn't seem to keep up with the fast movements, but once you slow down, you can actually get a pretty good consistent line. So at least this model that I have with the nib setup that he has, it's more of a take your time and do it right rather than fast and furious, I guess. Basically, the writing portion was okay. The only part where he kind of failed was quick, fast movements. But like I mentioned, if you take your time, this pen, at least this nib that I have, performs very well. During the drawing, it actually performed very good as well. But before mentioning it how it worked out, a few words about the paper that I'm using today. The paper that I'm using is the same paper from the same people. It's just that this one, it's actually not tinted with any color, so it's just, I assume, the actual natural color of the cotton that they are using to make this paper. One odd thing about it is that it feels like it's a little bit thinner than the other large paper that I've been using. And I think that the ink or whatever process they are using to tint the page for the larger version that I've been using, it's actually probably affecting on how pens feel on the paper, or at least how the fibers feels on the paper. This version of the paper feels a lot more dustier. If I put it on my large black mouse pad that I'm using as background for my videos, it actually leaves a lot of lint behind. And I usually have to actually clean the mouse pad with some water and a wet towel in order to remove that lint. So at least visibly, because it's white, I guess, this paper seems to leave more lint behind it. But in theory, it kind of works the same, but it does definitely have a little bit of a different feeling. And I'm using a smaller size paper because I kind of got myself fooled into buying this smaller version. When I placed the order and on the title you were saying 9 by 12 or something like that, but I think what it was referring to was not actual inches, but rather maybe centimeters. So now, I should have known because the price was pretty low, and at that moment I thought it was too good to be true, and actually, yeah, it was too good to be true. However, I kind of welcome this because maybe now I don't have to spend 3 to 4 hours on a drawing, or at least that's what I thought. The drawing for today evolved in itself into a very eerie creature. The way I see it is more like a celestial bird, some kind of warrior. What happened is as I was drawing, and then the drawing was evolving in whatever you see in front of you, I realized I have a lot of white space on the right side and I needed to fill it with something. And as I was playing with it, I realized that I could make this bird to actually hold like a spear in his mouth. So in the end, the result, basically, it's a very unique, let's call it like that, unique bird, kind of a warrior that is holding a spear in its beak. And obviously, like most of my creatures, it just floats in the air or space or whatever it is. I like this fountain pen and the nib that it comes with. It is a true fine, which actually in our terms would be more of an extra fine rather than a fine. However, worked very well on this paper and allow me to build a lot of details on this creature. The creature took a couple of strange shapes until it took its final form. I was also a little bit surprised by what was going on the paper, so I tried to work the shapes and merge them as usual into each other to be as seamless as possible. And I kind of like it, to be honest with you. It's kind of odd to now, after so many months of drawing on a large piece of paper, to go back to a smaller piece of paper. I like it, but it feels like I have to pay more attention and I need to work with a finer nib. So I'll try and reserve this paper only for very fine nibs that I might have. If I have any larger nib, I might go back to the larger version of this paper. The thing is though, and the reason why I jumped on this paper right now is that I already went through half of the paper sheets that I have for the larger format, and it felt like from now on it's gonna get closer and closer to the end. And since I haven't seen this paper online anymore for buying, I want to keep it for as long as possible. And since I have plenty of sheets for this smaller one, as you've seen at the beginning of the drawing, I'll probably stick with this format for a while. Actually, what I might try and do like small scenes, like frame scenes. Hard to explain it. I'm gonna attempt and do it with my next drawing if I can. Hopefully I can, and you'll understand what I'm trying to do. It's like a picture, kind of a frame of a thing. I don't know how to explain it. I guess the best will be to actually show it as I'm drawing it. And if my voice over matches with the time lapse that is going right now, what you see me right now, it's actually working on that spear that I was talking about earlier. So it's like a furry ball at the end of the spear, and I tried to give the feeling or impression that it's holding it in its beak. I like the fine details that I was able to take with this fountain pen. So when it comes to drawing and sketching, I believe a fountain pen like this, it's amazing, especially since it's so easy to carry around, and the fine or extra fine, if you choose to go even finer than this, nib will basically be very frugal with the ink that you have in the converter or cartridge if you're using a cartridge, and should last for a very long period of time. Like I mentioned, like half of the drawing that I've done with this pen was done with pretty much just the ink that was inside the section, and in essence the converter was empty. But yeah, beautiful fountain pen, I like it. I like the drawing that I've done. Like I said, today I tried, this was more of a testing the waters. I was trying to create something newish. Hopefully I kind of managed to do that. The other thing that I want to try on this paper, I want to see if inks will stay as bright as they are. On the tone paper, usually the ink will tend to go darker than it actually is. I'm hoping that on this paper will stay as bright. So for my next drawing, I will be trying a more colorful ink. Which one? I'm not sure exactly. I'll let myself surprise, and hopefully I will surprise you as well, and hopefully we'll get a good drawing out of it. Anyway, before I start rambling more than I should, Beautiful fountain pen, definitely one of my favorites. I wish they will still make these fountain pens, or at least this models. Pilot still makes a model for this pocket fountain pen, but not these ones as they are. Love it. Interesting paper. You'll probably see more of me using it, and hopefully I'll be able to come up with some new drawings that will fit the paper even better. But I guess we'll see that next time around when I will be using a new fountain pen that I purchased recently actually, and hopefully you will enjoy that one as well. Anyway, I'll stop myself here. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the time lapse, whatever is left out of it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Again, thank you very much for joining me, and I wish you a wonderful day or night, whatever you are. Take care. Bye.